Ladies and gentlemen, this is Zach Moonshine with Metal Devastation Radio, and right now on the phone with me I have Chris from the band Fornicus. What's going on, dude?
A lot, man.
So tell everybody out there listening what's going on in the world of Fornicus.
Right now, man, we just released our debut album back in July 28th. Right now, we're just trying to get some shows and shit lined up and just playing out in town and stuff.
Fuck yeah. So how long have you guys been a band, and how did you get started?
We got started back in early 2013. Me and Scott, the vocalist, we've been friends probably ever since high school. So we went out one night to go see Dark Funeral and Morbid Angel. And on the way up there, Scott had some riffs and stuff that he had written, and I decided to show them to me. And I got to listening to them, and I told Scott, I was like, man, we need to do something with these and see if we can't put something together. So we started, me and Scott just started writing together. And at first, I was just thinking that we were just gonna, just me and him gonna put some stuff together and just self-release some stuff. But we ended up getting Scott, or David, our drummer, ended up having him join up with us. And then once the three of us got together, we just started writing more stuff and decided that we were going to, try to make like an actual band out of it and start to do like live shows and stuff like that. And later on down the road, we ended up getting Kelly McCoy, our lead guitarist, and ended up getting him in.
Well, fuck yeah, man. The name itself, how did you guys come up with that? Fornicus.
The name Fornicus actually comes from the movie Cabin in the Woods. I think it's I don't know, it's like some kind of some kind of monster character or some shit from the movie. I ain't real sure. Once me, Scott, and David started jamming together, we once we decided that we were going to go, we were going to like start playing shows and shit, we were trying to think of a name for the band, and we were kind of tossing names around and stuff, and everything that we kept coming up with, that we thought was badass and sounded, cool as shit, was, already taken. And I was kind of dead set on, I think the name should be, just one word. I don't want, big, long, drawn out paragraph. And, the rest of the guys pretty much agreed. And it took us a while to come up with something, man. We kept, everything we thought of, that was like one word. He's like, yeah, that's it. That's awesome. We'd look it up, and, there'd be like 4 or 5 other bands already named this. We were just like, shit, what are we going to do? So one night at practice, we were sitting around, we were still kind of discussing on, what the hell to call ourselves. And we were sitting there, and David said, well, what do you guys think about the name Fornicus? And we just kind of stopped and looked at each other, and I was like, that sounds pretty badass, but, what is it? And David's like, it's this character from the movie Cabin in the Woods. It's kind of similar to like Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies. And I was like, looked at Scott, and I was like, dude, that sounds, it sounds cool as shit. And he was like, all right, So we looked it up, and luckily, there was no band named Fornicus that we could find, so we just decided to stick with it.
Well, that's fucking cool, man. It's definitely got a good ring to it too. And it's easy to remember too. That's another cool thing about it.
Yeah, that's kind of when we were discussing it, we thought, something that's just one word, it'd be a hell of a lot easier for people to recognize. We weren't real big on, bands that have like long, drawn out fucking names. We wanted something that, when people were like, okay, Fornicus, all right, we know who that is. We'll just stick with that.
Hell yeah, man. As far as influences, what would you say are your influences as a band?
Each one of us have got different, kind of like metal backgrounds and stuff. A lot of metal and like death metal, black metal. Me and Scott have got like a similar kind of inspirations and stuff when it comes to that. I listen to a lot of Immortal, Marduk, Watain. I've been here recently. I've been getting into Inquisition pretty good. Just little Burzum here and there. I know Kelly. He's real big into like a lot of death metal bands, like Carcass and Obituary, and I'm trying to think of some other ones that he's real big into.
You'll think of all of them after the interview.
Yeah, I mean, once I get done with it, I'll be like, oh shit. Yeah. And I know David. He's real big into Flesh God Apocalypse, and he's real big into death. And I mean, Scott. Scott's pretty. He's got pretty much all the spectrum pretty much covered. He's into the old school, the new, the newer stuff. He's real big into Emperor. He's been real big into them for a long time.
Hell yeah!
And I mean, just a lot of stuff in the black metal, death metal genre, man. It's pretty much a lot of the stuff that we listen to, and and it's hard to not get inspired by just what you listen to. It's hard to not get inspired, and a lot of times you don't really realize that sometimes when you're writing that you kind of like emulate some of that shit sometimes. And I mean, like if you take the track Into Obscurity, there's a like a clean part that kind of goes off in like a kind of heavier, darker tone towards the end.
Yeah.
And it's kind of when we wrote it, me and Scott were writing it, and after we got done writing it, I kind of looked at him and was like, dude, that kind of sounds it's gonna sound similar to an Immortal riff. And we was just like, but fuck it, it's awesome. We're just gonna leave it in.
Oh, this record is fucking slamming from front to back, dude. It's brutal. The cover of Antichrist from Sepultura, man, that is fucking insane, dude. Like that's badass. How'd you guys, how'd that come about?
That's probably Scott's idea, man. He, like I said, he's a real big fan of the old school sound, and once we started putting the album and stuff together, and we just felt like it was just customary that we should do a cover, try to do a cover, but try to make it sound like it would be, try to make it kind of unique and try to make it our own in a way, but not diminish the original. And Scott brought it up. He's like, what do you think about Antichrist? And I was like, yeah, I was like, that'd be awesome. We were both old school Sepultura fans, back when we were younger, and they influenced us into where we are as musicians, and we decided, hey, that'd be fucking awesome. We do that, and it'd be just like a perfect tribute to Sepultura, and kind of where the directions and stuff that we kind of got from them.
Yeah, definitely, man. The two tracks we've been playing the most, We Are Sin and Storming Heaven, fucking been getting a lot of good praise on the radio for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. The album artwork, that is some sick shit. How did you guys come up with that?
We come across a guy named Gregoff. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Gregoff. He runs a website called Luciferian Art, or Luciferian War Graphics. I'm sorry. And I mean, the guy does killer fucking artwork, man. I mean, he's we decided to do the band. We looked around for some artists and stuff that we wanted to possibly talk to see if they could come up with something. And then I think Scott came across him, and he showed him to me and and David, and we were just like, man, this is the guy that we want to do the artwork for it. And we contacted him, and we told him pretty much we told him the album title is going to be called Storming Heaven. We kind of want this theme of kind of hell overrunning the gates of heaven and just causing chaos, man. And I mean, I think it was like 2 days this guy, he sent the artwork back to us, and he was like, have you guys got any problems with it or not? If you got any problems with it, I can go back and edit it and whatever you guys don't like, I can try and fix. And I mean, the first, you know, thing you sent us, man, we were just like blown away. We were like, dude, that's awesome. You know, there's nothing that we can do to top that. So, and, you know, and I mean, I highly recommend him to anybody.
Very cool, man. I'll definitely, I'll find the links to that and put those up on the website too. But yeah, fucking when I'm listening to this album and I'm looking at the album cover, it definitely represents. It looks like what it sounds like.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, we try to put a lot of hate-filled kind of lyrics and stuff into this album. The four of us kind of come from a very, just the region that we live in is a very, I guess.
Yeah, I'm in Tennessee too, man.
Yeah, very Christian-oriented area. And for us, man, I mean, the album is kind of like a giant, you know, like a fuck you to all that. Yeah. And, you know, it's our way of, you know, saying, you know, screw that. You know, we're rebelling against that. You know, it's not what we believe. It's not, you know.
Hell yeah, man. As far as the local scene there in Kentucky, what is the local scene like there?
Oh man, for this genre of music, it's pretty much non-existent, man. I mean, you know, I hate it, dude. I mean, I was talking to Scott about it yesterday, and I mean, I was kind of having like a bitch fit about it, and you know, because when we play, you know, we played out up in Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, you know, and I mean, they're great spots. Don't get me wrong, but as far as like where we're located, like in like the Bowling Green area, I mean, it's. You know, I mean, you say the word death metal, black metal, man, and it's just like, oh, you know, it's like they just kind of freak out, and they're like, what the hell is that? And, you know, we've played down in Murfreesboro, and, you know, we've had pretty good success down there, and, like, you know, Louisville and Lexington, you know, they've got real good metal scenes and stuff going on up there. But, I mean, like I said, down here in the Bowling Green area, it's, you know, it's not very... There's not hard. Actually, I think we're probably the only extreme metal band in the area. There's other metal bands around here, but it's mostly like, I don't know, man. It's like they want to. A lot of it sounds like Nickelback type shit, and it's, you know, it's just something that we don't fit into. It, you know, I don't think we haven't played locally here yet, so.
Yeah, I'm in Jackson, Tennessee, and that's a lot of what we get around here too. But we do have a small metal scene here, but it's mostly doom. You rarely ever see any death metal or black metal bands. So when I seen that you guys were from Kentucky, I was like, fuck yeah, man, you're definitely raising a sword there for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, this kind of area, I mean, Scott's played in, you know, we played in a band previously, you know, about 10 years ago. And I mean, you know, we were like 18, 19. And, you know, at the time we were just kind of starting to, you know, discover what, you know, black metal and death metal was. And at the time, you know, we were playing in a band that was kind of like a new metal band, I guess you would say. And we were like, you know, real heavily influenced on Fear Factory. And I mean, even then, you know, when the band that we were in at the time, it just, you know, even then it seemed like that was like, okay, this is as heavy as it's going to get. And, you know, just as time progressed, you know, Scott eventually went off and started up another pretty successful death metal band called Aeons of Eclipse. And they put out a couple albums. And, you know, they got, you know, I mean, they were the heaviest thing to come out of here for a while until, you know, they split up. And then, you know, we formed Fornicus, and now, you know, it's kind of like, all right, you know, we're back to being the only ones in this area that are doing this style of music, and it's kind of a shame.
Yeah. Well, I got to give a big shout out to fucking Scott and Clawhammer, though, man, for sending this over to us, because I see you guys are self-released too, right?
Yeah, pretty much everything that we've done is DIY. The label that we're with is actually Kelly's. He started up his own underground label called Negative Earth, and right now he's throwing together like a web design, and he's doing as much as he can to try and support like the local Kentucky, like death metal scene and stuff with like bands from Louisville and Lexington. I think right now actually he's working on a first issue of something where he's kind of interviewing a bunch of bands and stuff and putting it up on his web design now.
That's awesome, man. As far as for people out there listening, where can they go to find your is there physical copies available yet, or?
Yeah, we just got them in today, actually. You can go to Fornicus.bandcamp.com, and you can order. You can either get the digital download, which I think is like $5, I think, and you can get the physical CD for $10. I think it comes with free shipping. The first 50 copies that we printed off, the four of us hand signed them.
Nice.
Or hand autographed. That's mainly for the first 50 people that decided that they wanted to pre-order the album or wanted to buy it or whatever. It's kind of our way of saying thanks to help support us and show their support and all that stuff.
That's badass, dude. Well, Chris, what kind of plans do you guys have for the future?
Right now, man, we're currently writing more material. After we're gonna try and promote the album as much as possible right now. Like you said, we got Clawhammer, doing some great PR work for us, and but I mean, we're constantly on the go, man. We're constantly trying to write new stuff, and right now we're already talking about what the next album's going to be about, and how we're going to go about doing it. And I mean, I can tell you right now, man, if people dig the stuff on this album, the next album's going to be 20 times better, man. I mean, we're writing stuff right now, man. It's just the other day, me and Scott was writing some stuff, and he was writing a guitar riff or something, and I was just kind of sitting back, and I just kind of stopped and looked at him, and I was kind of like, yeah, man, yeah, that's it right there. And he just kind of stopped dead at me, and looked at me and was like, dude, he's like, what am I, a stripper or what? and I just started laughing. I was like, I'm sorry, man. It's like, I just got into what you were fucking playing, man. I was like, this is going to be awesome once we get, some of this new stuff out there, man. I think it's going to blow some people away.
That sounds cool, man. Well, I definitely can't wait to hear that shit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot. It's going to have a little bit more of a...
All right. Well, Chris, I'm about out of questions for you. Is there anything else that you want to add to it? Tell the people out there listening?
No, man, that's it, man.
All right, man. Well, before I let you go, got to get you to make us a station tag. Cool?
All right, man.
All right. Just say this is Chris from Fornicus, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio. Whenever you're ready.
All right, man. This is Chris from Fornicus. You're listening to Metal Devastation Radio.